We need to stop, we need to pause, we need to ponder.
The lines are really blurring between what is nutrition, what is health, what is mental health.
Mental health only and only comes through spiritual awakening. Food is again going to be turned into toxic.
It is very easy for anyone to get lost in that world of Instagram.
Life will throw several things at you, and what is the purpose?
People find it very hard to stop scrolling.
Always trying to compare ourselves with somebody outside.
People who are really caught in their daily rut, how do we give them 2 or 3 small things to do?
Mind needs a lot of logic for it to stop troubling you. So I'll just tell you a quick secret, okay?
Hi everyone, my name is Shitija and I'm fondly known as fitchef on Instagram. I'm your fit guide to a fit life. After reaching a place that was rather dark 9 years ago, I have transformed my life through my love for nutrition and fitness, and I continue to do that through my nutrition practice, where I help other people not only lose weight but gain confidence. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce to you Shubha didi. She is the guiding force behind 2 very special organizations. One is called ISHT and the other is Internal Insight. The premise of these organizations is to help people find their inner light and their inner path through spirituality. But what I truly love about her and her videos is how relatable it is to everyone of every age. So let's dive into this, what I think is going to be a fantastic conversation and a real eye-opener, and how we can actually blend what she practices with what I hope for people to achieve in their life through nutrition. Welcome.
Thank you. Lovely being here.
I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. As I find with every passing client, the lines are really blurring between what is nutrition, what is health, what is mental health. I think everything is synergetically connected to each other.
Absolutely.
So there can't be one without the other. So when somebody comes and says, listen, I'm really working out in the gym, I'm like, but how are you eating? How are you sleeping? And how are you thinking? But I want you to shed some light on that. Give them very little information about, because that's not my expertise.
It's good to be conscious about this beautiful gift that God has given us, which is His body, human body, and the subtle body, which is the mind, which drives the body, which is seen. It's very, very important that you keep that healthy. But how? How do you keep that healthy? Because you can prescribe nutrition and exercise for the physical body, but nobody understands the cause of any physical illness.
Yeah.
Right? See, what people don't realize is that the mental health only and only comes through spiritual awakening. If there is no spiritual awakening, what will instigate the mind to move in the right direction? There are so many rights and so many wrongs, and how do you know which is the right for you and which is the wrong for you? And life will throw several things at you. And what is the purpose of life throwing several things at you? So that you can pick and choose your path. But towards what? Path towards perfection. And we can't force our mind to think in a particular way. Mind needs a lot of logic for it to stop troubling you, for your restlessness to come to a grinding halt. Definitely you require a lot of spiritual intelligence. What is the mantra? How do you get there?
You know, it was very funny. Not very funny, actually serendipitous, that I got into meditation, and it was my whole foundation towards nutrition and fitness started with me deciding to meditate for 21 days. When COVID happened, I on Instagram, at that time maybe I had 300 followers, I announced that for the next 21 days, I am going to meditate every morning, and maybe because everybody's anxious because of this COVID thing, you can meditate with me. And it was incredible. Even those 200 people, how many ever used to show up, everybody used to interact, and I found that they found some peace. And that's how fitchef started.
Amazing.
And so when anybody comes and says that, listen, I want to lose weight, or why don't I do Ozempic, or why don't I do this? I'm like, you can do anything. Do anything. But the truth is that what is that, you know, that magical feeling of change that you feel, because I was weighing 90 kilos and now I am like this, and they ask, oh, at which point did it all change? I was like, it changes when you stop caring about when it's going to change. Correct. Like when you get so caught up in the journey and you're like, I just love this because I love this, and I'm not really bothered about what is the date of the outcome. it's unbelievable. You will suddenly turn around and you will be like, oh my God, I've crossed that. But for people who are really caught in their daily rut, how do we give them 2 or 3 small things to do that at least gets them going?
Like you said, they need to, we all actually, not only they, we need to stop, we need to pause, we need to ponder, we need to stand and stare, sometimes externally, sometimes internally. Just do that for a few minutes. You just stand, pause, give your mind a chance, give your inner peace a chance. Just look at yourself inside. We're always trying to match the world outside. We're always trying to compare ourselves with somebody outside. There are targets which we have kept in our brain. Unfortunate, they're imaginative, full of illusion. And like you rightly said, it is not the result that should inspire us. It should be the process that we need to fall in love with.
To be honest, I'm not a all or nothing person. Thankfully, I've grown to be someone who's like, okay, can't do it 7 days a week, do it 4 days this week, but do it.
Very realistic.
Because that works even with I feel like because I'm so disciplined with my workouts and my fitness and my nutrition, it's taught me how to, blend that into other aspects of my life. But I do see clients who come to me really struggle with that. I feel like when they come to me, that itself is a brave step. Yes. I tell them, I'm like, you should already be proud, because that means you have decided that you are not going to be stuck anymore. But it is going to take a long time and little practices every day consistently to get to a place where you feel, oh, okay, I think I have this under control, until you won't, and then you start again. And then that truly is just the process. You have to accept it.
Yeah, discipline is one thing. Whatever you've done for yourself, I think is just amazing. It's great.
Thank you.
Because you've actually been your own guru, which is really nice. And now you're available for your highest growth. I think that's why we probably met.
I think so.
Yeah, it was the universe wanting us to meet, which is brilliant. So answering your question कि कई बार when you're sitting for meditation नहीं समझ में आता है कि mind voice है कि inner voice है. So I'll just tell you a quick secret, okay? The inner voice does not require any kind of a thought pattern. It does not require you to have anything existing in your head. To start with, it is something that you're just doing something, and suddenly out of the blue,
okay,
एक अंदर से तैरती हुई एक आवाज आएगी, and you must not try to defy it or try to shut it or try to question it. Just don't. That's the way he's communicating to you, because you've allowed it, you've cleared your space inside. It takes a lot for this clearing to happen.
Because I have to ask you this question. So, we meet all kinds of people, and I feel like I was quite challenged with the kind of people that I was experiencing maybe a couple of years ago. And, literally my voice would tell me, what are you doing? This is not for you. You need to walk. But every time I would try to take that step, but they would hold me back or something or the other. And in that pulling down, I would feel so mentally drained that I feel I was attracting only drained and negative.
Further drained environment.
Further drained situations. Work was not feeling as great as it feels. Like I'm so vivacious about my work. I could just wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm excited about everybody I'm meeting and things I'm doing. But like for that period of time, that was also not. Then I was like, what's happening? And then I knew it. Deep down I knew it, and whatever action I had to take, I took. And I went to being my usual self, and I was like, oh my God, do people realize that who we surround ourselves with? That you should be very aware of the friends that you keep. And when you're young, you're like, what does that even mean? But when I think back, I've always had lovely friends in school. I've always been blessed. And they have actually been such a positive impact on me. So when you surround yourself with people who sometimes are making you feel uncomfortable, I think we don't have the emotional aptitude. It's taken me a lot of time to understand, but that this discomfort is disalignment. Yes. You're not aligning with that soul. Yes. So it's okay to, step away from it. But people find that very hard, right? Because they're like, oh, this shouldn't look rude, which is why even I got stuck in that situation. But you don't want to look rude. You don't want to look whatever it is that you think is the social acceptable, and then you feel all kinds of things, backstabbed, and then you're like, but why is this person doing, but why? But actually, when I stepped back, I was like, maybe you have some unresolved emotions that are coming out through this experience. I mean, that's the only sense I made out of it. And yet you realize that you need to walk away from it, and you did. But that can be life changing. My life would be in a totally different direction if I did not have that enlightenment. Miserable. I was miserable. But now, so much wiser.
So, what really allows this to happen?
Yeah.
Two things. Like I always say, we are blessed even when wrong people come in front of us
Yeah.
because we realize what our weaknesses were.
Yeah.
We realize what was the quality of our brain. Where were we looking for emotional dependence, really? And in the
Yeah.
journey, we realize that, okay, no, this is not my purpose. This is not what I'm meant for. And you've tried your best. And then, you come out with even better colors, that's great. The second thing is, of course, as you've heard of accounts. Have you heard of karmic accounts? So we make several promises to several people, in our so many births. And then we also have so many sankalpas in our head, so many wishes that we create, if I see you with the kind of person that I would, want to lead my life with, I would say, oh, she's so lucky, she's got this guy. So what seeds have I put down? What do you want the universe to do? What do you want Bhagwan to do? He'll say, okay, actually Bhagwan doesn't do anything. It's our own creation, it's our own calling that we do. And then we land up with those people. He gives us an opportunity. Okay, you wanted to have a person like this in your life, so now you have it. And then we realize, okay, I'm made of something else and he's made of something else. It's just two different individuals wanting two different kind of things in life. And it's our emotional dependence that has got us here. And it's nice now that we know it. Now we're more mature, internally more awakened, and all of that. So to complete the cycle, the knowing is very important. Accepting is even more important. And blessing is also more important.
I love Instagram because for me it's my place of work and it allows me to reach so many people. And my reason of ever wanting to be on Instagram, like I said, started with I'm meditating, you meditate with me. So it's always that listen, even by seeing my videos, if they pick up one good thing, then good, because that's my purpose of being here. Having said that, it is very easy for anyone to get lost in that world of Instagram or like anything else in life, right? Pros and cons. You can either take the positives from it or you can get lost in the negatives. And I do see that around even with clients in my practice, with people, that how they can constantly be so caught up in someone else's life and what's happening and all of that. And it becomes a vicious circle where I think they lose their voice and their own thought process and they get caught up in, okay, maybe this is what I should do, or that, or this person is doing this, we should be doing that, all of that. I find that many times I tell my clients, make a discipline around it. You want to, like how you maybe watch TV or whatever you think is a recreational thing, do it recreationally and create a time and a space for it and then turn it off and keep it away. But of course, people find it very hard to stop scrolling. So, do you think that something like if they are into, I may not be like godly per se, but yet I find that I do chant. Like the Hanuman Chalisa, my father taught me when I was young, it keeps coming back to me at different phases in my life, and I know it by heart. And so it's very natural. But sometimes, even in your very natural state, you have to make a conscious decision that, okay, this makes me feel uncomfortable. Let's start seeking for something that's going to give me mental clarity. How do people stir themselves away from all of these noises of, the regular world to be able to take control of their health, their mind, their spiritual health?
Yeah, if you love yourself, you would obviously do that. See, I'll tell you, everything has a sign. Everything has a sign. When our mind starts to indulge in unproductive areas, in unproductive ways, it gives us several signals. You'll start feeling weird, you'll start getting slight headaches, you'll start getting pain under your jaw area, you'll start feeling weird, you'll start feeling a little giddy, you'll suddenly start getting cramps in different parts of your body, subtly, very subtly. अगर उसको हम नज़रअंदाज कर देंगे, for example, if you still fight it and still go ahead with it, you will see yourself falling sick or a little bit blah blah. But after a point, even those signals will probably stop. And then you will see that you are getting deteriorated. Your immunity systems will start getting bad. You'll again attract wrong company, wrong friends, and all of that. But definitely, the mind will give you signals. If you love yourself enough, if you love yourself enough, you will listen to those signals. So there are goods everywhere, there are bads everywhere. It's okay to indulge, but it's not okay to learn after indulging, seeing the bad side, and still going back to it. Then the message you are giving again to the cosmic, to Mother Nature is it's a loop. So then you are saying, ah, Bell, mujhe maar. So again, I'm repeating. If you love yourself, you will listen to the signs. The brain will give you signals that you're overthinking, you're overindulging, you're watching things, you are feeding your brain with content which is not productive. It's not healthy. If you get inspired by something in a positive way, you will not feel deteriorated. Your mind will not feel tired. You will feel so refreshed. आप बैठ के meditation करो, you feel so refreshed. आप भजन सुनो, इतना मज़ा आएगा. पर आप वहीं पर चिंतन करो. Try talking rubbish about someone else and you see how dirty you will feel about your own self. So how are you using your body? How are you using your senses? How are you using your mind? Who is going to define that for us? Who's going to tell us that? It only has to be us. So don't want to listen to anyone else. Okay, it's fine. It's all your life. We don't need to listen to someone else. But at least listen to your own self.
But that is so true because even if so I don't watch much television for this reason. I will not be indulging in Netflix and all of those shows. And I know everybody watches it, but I'm like, no, I don't watch it. I watch podcasts and I feel like my son notices all of these things that I do because they're very different from what he notices otherwise around. And he's like, you literally do not watch any TV shows. So I'm like, because it impacts me and then I don't feel good. And I don't want to see someone getting killed or murdered or investigation or whatever else there is out there. I mean, honestly, unless and until it is adding value to my mental space, I find it quite useless of my time. So yes, I do like to relax, but I watch a lot of podcasts, or occasionally I like to watch something funny where I'm just mindlessly laughing and I get away from it, It's a true like relaxation, or meet a friend and just meet for coffee and just laugh about senseless things. And exactly what you said, you feel energized after that exchange. But when you meet people who are very like wanting to gossip or want a lot of information or even watch something on television that's very upsetting or that's you actually feel mentally like very drained. You feel like tired.
Not worth it at all. Not worth it. And the more you are spending time with yourself, the more your inner voice will warn you, protect you.
Yeah, absolutely.
The more you do that, this is how it works. It just multiplies, quadruples actually after a point.
And yet the irony is that people don't like to be alone.
That's only because they don't know what it is like being alone.
Yeah.
हमारे ग्रंथों
It's so
में,
scary
yeah,
for
it
them.
is scary. In हमारे ग्रंथों में, it is written, that who is a actual papi. You understand the word pap, right? तो papi कौन है? And who is a sinner, who's a papi. So beautifully answered. Krishna answers it, and in the Granth it is written that जो अपने आप से दूर है, जिसको अपने आप में आराम और आनंद नहीं आता है, वो ही इस सृष्टि का पापी है. Because if you are able to touch base with your core, the purity begins there. It's impossible you will harm anyone else, leave alone harming anyone else. You won't have the guts to harm yourself. And not in the physical way or even the mental way. Spiritually, not having the right thought process, not having the right bhav, and even thinking wrong for someone would make you feel so guilty and low that, Are, how could I allow this in my mind? That's not right. Because this is how the world manifests. What energizes you or de-energizes you determines the kind of person you are, and that is how you would be guided, or this is how manifestations work.
I think it's very overwhelmingly confusing because what our social construct teaches us is very different, and what our inner voice is saying is very different. And then when I was younger, I honestly think that somewhere I have always been this person, and I had to discover her as I grew up. Because I would many times ask myself, even as a child, I clearly remember that this doesn't seem right, but then I'm being expected to like do it. And I have to do it because everybody does it. And those were the same kind of questions that kept repeating at different points in life until I finally said, well, it may be working for somebody else, but it's not working for me. But we were not given that autonomy as kids. And I try to give it to my son. I try to give him that autonomy that if he doesn't feel like doing something or he doesn't like something, and I'm a disciplinarian, that is another side of me as a parent, because I don't want him to be taking life and things for granted. But I give him autonomy in the way he feels. He's allowed to feel anything that he feels because he is an individual. What my opinion is an opinion, but he's allowed to feel whatever he wants. And that autonomy it's just very deep and very it takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time, but only a very happy person can be that way. Only a very sorted person can be that way. If you have been able to find love and happiness inside you, you will give a lot of space to people around you. You will not topo your internal insecurities on them or your thought processes on them, saying that this is right out of my experience of life. A very healthy mind will typically be able to give space to people around you. So, my thing to everyone is work towards your internal health. Don't run away from the spiritual part of life, because spirituality is the story of your own self, your own spirit. Wrap your brain in such a way that you uplift yourself, because you're really worth it, and there's no one as precious as you are on this planet. And it's okay to fail. Life is all about challenges. It's only because you need to become a better version of you, which I'm sure we all know. We hear it every time. And as the company, so the color. That's always my saying. So if you find a company which is helping you go upwards, please do be a part of it. And I would just say, let love, joy, ease, and peace be your mantra of life, not only externally, but also internally. Yeah.
I guess to round it up, we could say that you should not only be eating healthy food, but also feeding your mind healthy thoughts.
Absolutely. That's
And that's it. That's the quickest and
that's how we close and complete the circle, right?
exactly.
Nutrition all the way through. Yeah. Spirituals back up helps the
Yes.
mind to function and sort itself out.
Yeah.
That helps the physical body to be at ease and peace, because every cell has a memory,
Yeah. And every cell is alive.
is alive, so that every food that you eat is actually going all the way, through to give you the health, optimum utilization of every resource, let it be physical, mental, and spiritual, I would say.
Amazing. It has been an absolute pleasure. I could go on, as you can
Me
tell.
too.
We're just lost. We don't
We
even
just lost. We don't know where we are, what we're doing. Are we having a podcast? Is it?
I swear. But it has been absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
same
for your
here,
time.
my darling.
Thank you.